2020. This is Judge Wish, Courtroom 1, Session 1. Can I have the parties announce themselves to the record, please?
Letitia Fowler with the Office of Public Defender.
Elaine Fusco, State Attorney's Office.
Thank you. Mr. Flynn, how are you today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good, thanks. All right, and is this Mr. Castillo?
Yes, you're
All
right.
right, sir. And Mr. Flynn, are you filing a notice of appearance? Have you done so? I just want to make sure.
No, we have not done so yet because
Okay.
it was just booked yesterday. We just got a case
But you're
numbers.
intending to do so?
We've already been retained and we will
Okay.
be filing a notice of appearance on this matter.
Okay. All right, Mr. Castillo, you're here in case number 2019 CF 16725. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for sexual battery on a victim less than 12 years of age in Luder Lascivia molestation. And you do have Mr. Flynn who will be representing you. Both are, count 1 is a capital offense, count 2 is a punishable by life felony. And have you discussed anything with the state, or is the state requesting me to make any findings?
You're all right. Ask the court hold on any proof, evident, presumption, great finding, allow us to conduct a proper bond hearing downtown.
Okay, is that
Unless
what you're electing to do?
I am electing to
Okay.
do that, Your Honor. I'm guessing the court's probably not inclined to set a bond this morning, as this was an at-large warrant signed by a judge with no bond.
Well, based on the affidavit, I mean, if you don't want me to make if the
No,
state.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't want a
so-
finding this morning, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, and that's fine, and I have no problem with I mean, either way, even if I made a finding, you could still have your Arthur here, you know.
Yes, I understand.
So, Ms. Fusco, I'm just gonna hold him no bond, and direct and put in the court minutes that, no finding was made and that you can have that hearing downtown,
Thank you, Your Honor.
okay? And so I'll indicate there are conditions of release if he is to be released, and that can also be modified
Yes.
downtown as well. But I am gonna order no contact directly or indirectly with the victim or the victim's family. And you're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. I'm not sure based on the time frame if that's still the victim's residence. But if it is, you're not to go to the victim's residence. Again, no contact, direct or indirect, with the victim or the family, no weapons or firearms or any ammunition, and no alcohol or any illegal substances without a valid prescription. And additionally, Mr. Castillo, if you have a passport, you'll need to surrender that if you are eventually released from the Orange County Jail within 12 hours of your release, and that's to the clerk. If you do not own a passport, you'll have to file an affidavit under oath, notarize that you do not own a passport, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Mr. Flynn can help you with all of that all right, anything further?
Your Honor, the only thing I would ask, what division is this assigned to? Because I wasn't.
I believe 20,
Thank you very much.
okay? All right,
Have a great day.
thank you, you as well. All right, good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Shakita Keaton.
All right, Ms. Keaton, you're here in 2020 CF 469AO. You're arrested for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, burglary of a dwelling with an assault or battery, and criminal mischief. And I do find probable cause for those offenses, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in that case. 2020 MO 66, you're arrested for state misdemeanors, and I do find probable cause for those offenses as well, and I'll appoint the public defender. And we'll go back to the felony, but in that case, you're not to return back to the Antioch Senior Living Home Facility at 3850 WD Judge Drive, or have any contact with any listed victim or witness at that location. And that bond will stay at $250. As to the 469 case, count 2 is a punishable by life felony. Does the state wish to be heard as to bond?
Could I have a couple moments, Your Honor?
Sorry?
Could I have a few moments, Your Honor?
No, was it?
Your Honor, in this case on Friday, January 12th, the victim, Delinda Grace Gibson, said that she was sleeping and at 2:52 a.m., the defendant was knocking on her bedroom door. She opened the bedroom door and the defendant followed her inside, started to punch her, and when she got away and closed the bedroom door, the defendant kicked the bedroom door open, walked inside, and continued to punch her and push her. And when she was on the phone attempting to call 911, the defendant walked in behind her and stabbed her twice on the left forearm with a silver knife and possibly stabbed her in the head. There are photographs of Ms. Gibson's injuries submitted into evidence, and Ms. Gibson's roommate, Michelle Sylvester, stated that she was sleeping in the residence, heard a loud bang like someone was knocking in the door, and she heard things were being thrown and broken in the bedroom, and then heard the victim scream, and then observed her left forearm bleeding. We would argue that there is proof evident or presumption great and ask that she be held without bond.
Ms. Fowler?
Your Honor, we just ask the court to exercise its discretion in setting bond.
Okay, all right. And so based on my review of the affidavit, I do find proof evident, presumption great. Ms. Caton, I'm gonna order that you're not to return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred, no contact with any victims or witnesses. If you still live there, you must maintain a separate residence, and if you need to go back, you'll go with law enforcement one time to get any personal belongings that you may need, but you may not go without law enforcement. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I am gonna hold you no bond on count 2 for now. Your attorneys will be able to file a motion downtown for the judge down there to determine whether you'll get a bond. Your bond will stay set on count 1 at $3,500 and count 3 at $100. And I did set the bond on the other count as well, and the conditions of release. Good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
My name is Charles Lacy.
All right. Mr. Lacy, you're here in 2020 CF 465AO. You're arrested for 2 counts of aggravated battery with a weapon, criminal mischief over 1,000, burglary of an occupied dwelling, and petty theft of $100 or more. And I do find probable cause for those offenses, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. No return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, no contact with any victim, any witness, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. Your bond on count 1 will stay at $5,000. Count 2 will also be $5,000, and counts 3, 4, and 5 will be $150, $150, and $100. You're out on release for battery and 19 MM 1147AW. I am going to revoke the bond at this time and set that at none. And you do have an attorney in that case. They'll be able to file a motion for you.
For the bond?
Sorry?
They'll be able to file a motion for me
Yes,
to
they'll be
combine the
able to
bond?
file a bond motion for you.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Okay, so I move on. Okay, so I'm getting my wife to file. Oh, please.
All right, good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Haroon Robinson.
Ms. Robinson, you're here in 2020 CF 466AO. You're arrested for aggravated assault with a weapon. And I do find probable cause. I don't have a form for the public defender. Oh. All right, it appears as though we have a form, but no information on it. So, do you have any children?
No.
And, do you work?
Yes, I'm a professional stripper.
Okay, and so do you just get paid in cash?
Yes.
And do you work every day?
Yes.
Okay, and so what's your take-home, would you say, on a weekly basis?
1,000.
1,000?
Mhm.
And is that like after taxes? I mean, do they take money out?
No.
They don't take any money out, okay. All right, so $1,000 weekly with no dependents. And do you have any money in a banking, a checking, savings account?
No.
No? Do you own a vehicle?
No.
Okay. Do you get Social Security?
No.
Okay, all right, so $1,000 a week, she's not gonna qualify. You're not gonna qualify for the public defender, okay? So you're
Okay.
gonna have to hire your own attorney based on your income, okay? I am gonna order no return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. Abide by the trespass warning. Appears as though you were provided with a trespass warning. So no return back to 7135 South Orange Blossom Trail. That's the Tono's Mexican food. And no contact with any victim or witness, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And the bond will stay set at the 2,500. Does she have a hold?
Her police are not here, so we can't remove it.
Okay, all right. All right. All right.
Can we pass by Mr. Jones
We can.
and Christopher Jones refused?
All right, so Mr. Jones refused to come to court. I think this was reset from yesterday as well, which was a refusal. I'm gonna find that to be a waiver. And I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent Mr. Jones. Ms. Fowler, do you wanna formally waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so no return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. That's 9815 International Drive, the McDonald's. No contact with any listed victim or witness. And the bond will stay set at 1,000 and $250. All right, please tell me your name.
Hi, my name is Mia.
All right.
Lowe.
All right, Ms. Lowe, you're here in a couple cases, 2020 CF 417AO. You're arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer resisting an officer with violence, trespass on property after warning, and nuisances injurious to people's health. And I do find probable cause for those offenses, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in that case. No return back to the Days Inn at 5858 International Drive. No contact with any listed victim or witness. Abide by the trespass. The bond, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. The bond will stay at $2,500 on count 1. I'll reduce count 2 to $150, count 3 to $100, and count 4 to $100. And it appears as though they filed an on-view violation of probation because of you're on probation in Seminole County. And there's probable cause for that violation of probation, and the bond will stay set at none at this time. I can't appoint the public defender in that case for you because it's here in Orange County. And the case is out of Seminole. So you'll have to bond out of the case here before they'll transport you to Seminole, okay?
I have a question. I have a seizure and depression disorder, and I was totally incapacitated.
Okay, well, I don't want you to talk about the facts. If you have a defense, then you'll need to talk to your attorney about that, okay?
So,
And that may be a defense that you have, but I can't talk about that with you right now.
did I violate any kind of probation with seizures? Did I violate any kind of probation when I had my seizure 2 days ago?
Well, I don't know, ma'am, but you violated your probation, and there's probable cause for a violation of the probation based on the 4 counts. You're also out on release for battery on a law enforcement officer and battery on a medical provider. And, so
Because I
am gonna
called
revoke
911.
that release in 19 CF 13234AO and set that at none at this time. And you do have the public defender in that case, and they'll be able to file any bond motions for you.
What is my total bond out today?
Don't know.
I pooped my pants at home yesterday. I mean, at Saturday at the Days Inn. I completely.
I don't want you to talk about the facts, ma'am, okay? Do we know the total? So your bond on the cases that I set bond on is $2,850. You have no bond on the other case and then no bond on the VOB, okay? All right, good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Juan Garden, Alexis.
All right. All right, Mr. Axis, you're here in 2020 MM 261AO, and you're arrested for trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause. Is there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer would be adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served. court
I'm
call.
sorry, Miss, it's hard to hear with a lot of stuff going on, so I just need you to speak up.
I hate this guy, dog.
Okay, adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served and court costs.
Okay, all right, so Mr. X's, I think you have 2 days credit for time served, because the way they count, and it's a 3-day offer that would get you out sometime today, I don't know what time. Do you want to accept it?
Yes, Your Honor, he would like to accept the offer.
Okay, do you want to plead no contest?
Enter a plea of no contest.
All right, Mr. X, is that your signature at the bottom of the plea form?
No.
All right, did you understand everything that was contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Thank you.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you on probation anywhere? No? I need you to speak out loud.
No,
She-
ma'am.
Okay. And do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I do find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. Can't go back to the Coalition for the Homeless. You've been trespassed, so make sure you stay away. If you go back, you're probably just gonna get arrested again. And I do have to impose court costs. I'll order you pay those by January 13th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, sir. Good luck. All right, good morning. Please tell me your name,
Good
sir.
morning, Stephen McHadden.
All right, Mr.
Yeah, I did
Haddon.
the best I can,
How
man.
you doing today?
Doing all right.
Okay. All right, Mr. Haddon, you're here in 2020 MM 259AO, and you're arrested for trespass on property after warning. Do you find probable cause? And I don't have a form for the public defender. You want to resolve your case today? Oh, I do have a
That's
form for the
okay.
public defender. And so I'll appoint them to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Haddon?
Yes, Your
All right.
Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served. Court costs, no return to the scene of trespass at Lake Yellow Park.
All right, Mr. Haddon, do you want to
I was in the same part.
resolve your case?
Nah. I'm good.
You don't want to plead today?
We gotta resolve my case.
Okay, well, the offer's 3 days with
Sure, I
credit for
accept
2.
that.
You'll get out today. Need you to
Okay.
sign the plea form if you want to do the plea.
The 3 ABC, I was stepped here 3 times, I mean 3 days.
Well, you'll get out today.
Thank you.
Okay, I need you to sign the plea form.
The first time. Seems like it wasn't what we meant, you know. What you said. What's that in there? Color don't mean shape, it don't mean color. Got enough room this time.
All right, Mr. Haddon, is that your signature at the bottom of the plea form?
That's right, but
All
really
right.
small.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yeah, I understand the plea form.
Did you understand everything in it?
Yeah, I understand it.
Okay, you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Sure.
Are you on probation?
Tired of reading it, man. There's more and more to read. I'm not on probation.
All right, I need you to answer my questions, okay? You're not on probation, is that what you said?
No.
Okay. Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Okay, whatever. You know, I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm not a veteran, man. I'm not, whatever, you know. I guess I'm just not a U.S. I just whatever. Whatever.
Okay. Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Okay.
Okay. I do find a
Heard it before,
factual
but, you know.
basis. I need you to be quiet,
you-
Mr.
what
Haddon,
you
or I
talking
can't do
about?
my job. Hold on.
What you talking about?
All right, I find a factual basis, I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days with credit for 2 days'
Son of
time
a-
served. You can't go back to Lake Eola. If you go back, you're
Any
just gonna
kind of Lake
end
Eola?
up where you
Or
are.
any kind of court, or anywhere I walk, go back, stand where I stand, where I
Don't go
came
back
from.
there.
I'm not gonna do
And I
that.
do have to impose court costs, I'll order you pay those by January 13th, 2021. If you'd like
Told
to
me
appeal
good
the
lies,
judgment
huh?
and
You're a
sentence of the
buyer.
court, you must do so in writing
I
within
know
30
choir,
days.
boy.
If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you.
If
Good
I
luck,
hold
Mr.
this,
Haddon, I don't wanna see you soon.
you ain't found this.
Okay, Steve. Come on. Step out. Around the corner to this.
All right, good morning. Please tell me your name.
Jacob Rayleigh.
Sorry?
Jacob Rayleigh.
All right, Mr. Rayleigh, you're here in 2020 MM11AE. You're arrested for trespass after warning, and I
Yes.
do find probable cause. I don't have I have a form for the public defender. You make $5,000 a month?
Yes.
Okay, you're not gonna qualify for the public defender. And I'm not gonna accept an offer today in this case. I saw you a couple days
I understand.
ago, and I told you not to go back there, and that was my court order, and you violated that.
I understand.
So, I'm gonna order you not to return back to UCF properties, abide by the trespass warning. The bond will stay at $500 in that case. I think you do have the public defender in the other case. So is Christopher Corey a PD?
I think so, Your Honor, I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I did
So
it.
what I'm gonna do is I am gonna appoint the PD. You have the PD already. I am gonna appoint them to represent you in the new case. I am gonna revoke the release in 2020 MM for AE, and set that at none. And, the PD's office will have to file a motion, for you, but no contact with any listed victim or witness and no return and abide by the trespass.
Yes, sir.
All right, please tell me your name. Oh, hi, Ms. Bobek. How are you doing today?
I'm well, how are you?
Good, thanks. Can you tell me your name?
Amber Rolling.
All right, Ms. Rowling, you're here in 2020 MM 260AO. You're arrested for trespass, and I do find probable cause. Ms.
Your Honor,
Bobek,
before you do that, so the reason I'm here this morning is because I'm asking you not to find probable cause in the trespass, and I have the original arrest. So she was arrested on the 11th of January, or sorry, the 10th of January, and this particular case, the trespass case, references the original arrest reports and says that she was arrested for trespass and that she was given a trespass warning originally, which is how they were able to arrest her based on their report. I have the original reports, if I may approach, Your Honor.
I'm pulling them up now. So I have the battery on a law enforcement officer. Are both of the reports different?
They are slightly different, Your Honor.
Okay, let me pull up the other one too then. Was she seen?
No, I believe she bonded out before.
Okay, okay.
And obviously, Your Honor, our goal is to maintain the bond on the felony and misdemeanor from the 10th.
So your argument for purpose of the trespass is that she was not trespassed?
Our argument, Your Honor, is that she was never issued a trespass warning.
So being told to leave is not,
Well, she did.
okay.
She did leave, and she was a guest of Disney, and she had a band. And so when she was arrested, then 2 days later or so, she entered the park with her band. So the case law says that if you are allowed to enter, if you're given a license, which is what a ticket or a band would be to Disney, that you have to have express actual communication that you are not allowed to be on the property before you can be arrested for a trespass. If they're saying that she was given actual communication that she was not allowed to come back at all, ever, That was not expressed to her the day that she was arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer and disturbing the peace. She was not arrested for trespass.
Do we have a copy? It says trespass warning copy from 110 was collected and submitted.
There's no.
I mean, anybody can get a band, right?
Well, I mean, she
I mean-
registered her name on it. I mean, her
Right.
name is listed on the band, it's listed on the hotel room that she had as
Right.
well.
I mean, from which was existing 2
Prior
days
to the
before.
arrest, correct.
I mean, and then when you're told you can't come back.
Well, she wasn't told couldn't come back, she was asked to leave.
Right, but it says they gave her a trespass.
But it also says
Copy.
that she was arrested for trespass, which she wasn't. And there's no
Well,
list in either of these reports that she was ever given a warning or the citation on the warning. And Your Honor, if you were inclined to find probable
Yeah.
cause, you can still what I'd like to do
Right,
is
I
not lose the
understand what
bond.
you're asking. I mean, it's within the four corners. I understand they may have put in there that she had been arrested for trespass. I don't think
Right.
that changes that she was provided the trespass. They indicate they have a copy of it. I
I
don't.
mean, I reviewed all the paperwork
Right.
that she was given that night, and there wasn't a trespass warning. That doesn't mean that she wasn't given one.
Right,
It just
I
means
mean, I'm
that
sure
she
it was a
didn't have
chaotic
notice.
situation
Right.
too, so what I'm gonna do, I do find the probable cause, and what I'll do is I'll maintain I'll keep the bonds. Miss, Rowling, you cannot go back to Disney's properties, okay? If you go back, you're just gonna be sitting or standing where you are right now, okay? Don't go back there. Don't have any contact with anyone or any victim or any witness at that location, okay?
I told Disney I work
Just-
for the Four Seasons, which is on Disney property.
Okay, well,
That is-
you have to follow the trespass warning. If you have any, you can get that through, I think, OPD, if you don't have a copy of it. If you have questions about it, I'm sure Ms. Bobet can call OPD or call Disney and find out if you being employed there is gonna affect that. But I can't change it, okay?
No, yeah.
And I have to order that you comply with the trespass, okay? I won't revoke your release. Are you representing her in this case?
I intend to file, I believe I will be retained. I just got the call yesterday, Your Honor.
Okay, on the other case, I don't know
I
if,
expect to be on all of
on
them.
all cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because she doesn't have, I mean, I think she bonded out, obviously,
Yes, ma'am.
before she saw a judge.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you can't go back there, okay? And, the bond will stay set at the 500,
Thank you, Judge.
and I won't revoke your releases. But if I see you again, and you went back there, or, make sure before you go to work that you have the clear to go to work. If
Yes,
you
Your
come
Honor.
back, I can't guarantee that I won't revoke your release for violating the court order, okay?
Thank you,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
thank you. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Carlton Ford.
All right, Mr. Ford, you're here in 2020 CF 364AO. You're arrested for grand theft third degree and trespass, or grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle and trespass in a conveyance. And I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. No return back to the location of where the offense is alleged to have occurred. You are not to go back to that Family Dollar, 918 West Colonial Drive. No contact with any victim or witness. And the bond will stay at 1,000 and 100. All right, please tell me your name.
Seth Clayton Munich.
All right, sir, you're here in 2020 MM9AE. You were arrested for trespass. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 3 days, credit time served, court cost, no return to the scene of the trespass.
Does he have 3 days in? Okay. So it's credit for time served offer, no return, court costs, and, do you want to accept that offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And I'm not gonna take any action on your out on release case. You do have a court date coming up. Do you know when that is?
I believe the 20th.
27th, I
27th.
believe. Let's make sure. I don't want to give you the wrong date. Thanks. Is it 909? Oh, it's 2019. Okay, that's fine. All right, it looks like your court date is on the 27th at 8:30 in courtroom 4B as in boy.
Yes,
Okay, don't miss that court date,
Oh,
okay?
yes, sir.
All right.
yes, Your Honor.
All right, is this your signature at the bottom of the plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, Your
Do
Honor.
you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, Your Honor.
You understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I do find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit in the court file. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days with credit for 3 days' time served. You cannot go back to that Publix at 440 North Orlando Avenue in Winter Park. Abide by the trespass warning, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I do have to impose court costs. I'll order you pay those by January 13th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Good luck.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Can you tell me your name, sir?
George Chung.
All right, Mr. Chung, you're here in 2020 MM 22AA. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning and resisting an officer without violence. And I do find probable cause. Were you able to fill out a form? Oh, I got a form for the public defender, and I'll appoint them to represent you.
Is there a plea?
I don't know, Mr. Chung. I mean, I can find out.
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 4 days with credit time served, court cost, and no return to the scene of the trespass.
All right, I do have to let you know, I mean, I am gonna take action on his out-on-release cases today, so I don't know if he wants to enter a plea or not. Does he have attorneys in those cases? Okay. All right, Mr. Chung, I mean, if you want to resolve your case today, the state's offer is credit, I think it's credit for time served. Has he been in 4 days? 3? Okay, so it's 4 with credit for 3, but, you know.
No, I'm good.
No?
He doesn't go to
Okay.
a separate.
All right, you can't go back.
Where did I get ROR on anything?
You can't go back to the Motel 6. And
well,
you
when
can't
did
have
I
any
get-
contact with any listed victim or witness and abide by the trespass. The bond will stay set at 500 on count 1. I'll reduce count 2 to 100. And I am gonna revoke your release in 2019 CF 12288AO and 2019 CF 13686AO. And you do have attorneys in those cases, and they'll be able to file any motions on your behalf.
Real fuck ass shit here, man.
All right, please tell me your name.
Dustin Bragg.
All right, Mr. Bragg, you're here in 2020 CF 470AO. You're arrested for fleeing and attempting to elude a law enforcement officer and driving while license suspended. And I do find probable cause. Did you plan on hiring your own attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, and so no driving without a valid driver's license. I'm gonna put you in pretrial release. You gotta follow all of their requirements, okay? Don't screw up because you'll get your release revoked, okay? Right? Good luck. All right, please tell me your name.
Heather Buford.
All right, Ms. Buford, you're here in 2020 CF 462AO. You're arrested for possession of cocaine and grand theft third degree of a motor vehicle. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. No contact with any victims or witnesses in the case. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay set on count 1 at 1,000, count 2 at 150. And I am gonna require random urinalysis through pretrial release. All right, good morning. Tell me your name, please. Tell me your name.
Mandra Dallas.
All right, Mr. Dallas, you're here in 2020 CF 468AO. You're arrested for possession of MDMA and tampering with physical evidence. And I don't find probable cause for count 2. I find it for count 1. Merely discarding an item that can be easily located is not tampering pursuant to the case law. So I'll ROR on count 2. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay at 1,000. Okay. Oh, did I appoint the PD? Oh, okay. Did you fill out a form for the public defender? He did. Oh, he did, okay. Okay, that's okay. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, so. All right, good morning. Can you tell me your name, please?
Good morning. Takia Hawks.
All right, Ms. Hawks, you're here in 2019 CF 5762. You're arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was previously found for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and criminal mischief. And I don't have a, do we have a form for her? Did you fill out a form for the public defender?
No, ma'am.
Okay, are you gonna hire your own attorney? Is that a yes? You gotta say it out loud
Yes.
for me. Okay. Do we have, is this a complete? Okay. All right, Ms. Hawks, you're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness, no return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred, and no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. And the bond will stay set at 1,500 and 500. All right, tell me your name, please.
Matt.
All right, Ms. Mack, you're here in 2020 CF 472AO. You're arrested for driving while license revoked as a habitual traffic offender. And I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender in 20 CT 289. You are arrested for no motor vehicle registration. And I find probable cause, I'll appoint the PD, and in 2020 MM 270AO, you're arrested for providing false ID to law enforcement officer. And I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. And so you can't drive without a valid driver's license, and the bond will stay at 2,500, and 500 on the registration, and then I believe 500 on the false ID. All right, please tell me your name.
Andrew Roberts.
All right, Mr. Roberts, you're here in 2020 CF 467AO. You're arrested for robbery, sudden snatching, and petty theft. And I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No return back to 1112 Robinson Avenue. No contact with any listed victim or witness. No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition, and no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm gonna stay the bonds at 1,000 and 250. All right, please tell me your name.
Emilio Salazar.
All right, Mr. Salazar, you're here. In 2020 CF 464AO, you're arrested for grand theft, third degree of a motor vehicle, and no valid driver's license. I find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. No return back to where the offense is alleged to have occurred. No contact with any listed victims or witnesses. And no driving without a valid driver's license.
Yes, ma'am.
The bond will stay at 1,000 and 100. I am gonna revoke your release in 2019 MM 9395AO. You are represented by an attorney in that case. They'll be able to file any motions. Okay?
I don't understand.
All right, please tell me your name.
Archie Lee Kelly.
Mr. Kelly, you're here in 2020 MO67. You're arrested for an open container violation and disorderly conduct. I find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 4 days with credit time served, court costs.
All right, do you want to accept that offer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you signed the plea form?
Enter a plea of no contest, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, is that your signature at the bottom of the plea form, Mr. Kelly?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes.
You understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation. Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I find a factual basis to accept your plea to both counts. I'll adjudicate you guilty on each count, sentence you to 4 days with credit for 2 days' time served. Those are run concurrent. I have to impose court costs. I'll order that you pay those by January 13th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, sir. Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
All right, please tell me your name.
Mackenzie Foston.
Okay, is this what we previously had as Mr. Doe? Okay, do we have a face sheet for him? Okay. Have they verified that name? Okay.
Mackenzie.
Can we reset to the afternoon and then we can get an ID on him? Okay, I mean, I don't want him, if for some reason that's not his name or anything, then, you know, I don't feel comfortable taking the plea, okay? So we'll reset you, you said Mr. Foster?
Boston.
Boston? Okay, we'll reset you, we'll see you this afternoon, okay? All right, please tell me your name.
Michael Ray Hunt.
All right, Mr. Hunt. You're here in 2020 MM23AO. You're arrested for violating an injunction. And I find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. I'm just trying to, I don't know if anyone in pretrial can tell me, there's a note here that says multiple injunction violations, but I don't see any in his history. So are those, is that what's sealed? So it has the two asterisks? But then the other one has this asterisk? I'm just not sure. No, but it says violations. So there's a note there that I just don't understand because I don't see any.
He has some, injunctions in his history, I'm not sure.
Okay, but not, okay, all right, so a little, okay. All right, Mr. Hunt, you're not to have any contact with the victim in the case. Abide by the injunction in 18 DR 013292-0. I am setting your bond at 7,500. Huh? All right, thank you. Please tell me your name.
Jonathan Reynolds.
All right, Mr. Reynolds, you're here in 2020 MM267. You're arrested for petty theft. And I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. In that case, you're not to return back to the Walmart at 8101 South John Young Parkway or have any contact with any listed victim, witness, or co-defendants. And the bond will stay at 500. They filed an on-view violation of probation based on the new law, based on probation out of Volusia County, and there's probable cause for that. The bond will stay set at none. I can't appoint the PD in that case for you, but I think if you bond out, then you would head over to Volusia, okay? All right, please tell me your name.
James Wilson.
Mr. Wilson, you're here in 2020 MM262AO. And looks like they charged you a trespass in a dwelling after warning. I think the cop just got the statute wrong because it indicated it was placed under arrest for trespass after warning. So I find probable cause for 810.09-5, which is trespass after warning. Yeah, 810.09-5. And so there's probable cause for that, and I'm being told you do not qualify for the public defender. You make $2,500 a month?
So I don't know. She just told me to estimate. So
Okay, is that your estimate? 2,500, do you work?
Yeah,
Okay, and then do you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly?
weekly, but it fluctuates.
Okay, and are
Depending
you,
on the weather, I do asphalt.
okay, so what is your average weekly paycheck?
Right now, like three something.
300 and something? Okay, do you have any kids?
Yeah, I got a son,
Okay, how old?
7.
7? Okay, all right. And so I'm gonna cross this out. And I'm gonna find that you qualify for the public defender. I'll appoint them to represent you. Was there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served, court costs, no return to scene of trespass.
Okay, I'm sorry, Ms. Foos, I can't hear you at all. It gets loud over here, so I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The offer would be adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served, court costs, no return to the scene of the trespass.
Okay, thank you. Do you wanna do that, Mr. Wilson?
I don't understand.
Okay, so the state's making an offer for you
Mhm.
to resolve your case today. So today would be the only day that you can resolve your case until and if the state files a formal document called an information, okay? I don't know if they'll file it or not, but you can't resolve your case, you'd have to go back to court when you get out of jail, okay? So, if you wanted to resolve your case today, the state's offer is 3 days with credit for, I think you have 2. And so that would get you out today, just, I don't know what time, but it would get you out by 11:59.
Okay.
So if you don't want to accept the offer, I would stay the bond. Well. Yeah. So the bond would be the $500. So if you wanted to not accept the state's offer, you don't have to.
Okay, so when I get out, cause I ain't from around here, so how would I get back to Duval? Can I go to the bus station still?
Well, you've been trespassed, so I can't give you any advice on what you can do. But obviously, if you go back there, you're probably gonna get arrested. So you'll probably have to find another way.
All right.
Do you wanna accept the offer? Do you wanna
Yeah.
talk to Miss Fowler about it? I appointed the PD, so if you need a second, you can talk to Miss Fowler about.
No, I'm ready to go home, so I take it.
Okay, you sure you don't want to talk to her about it? If you have any questions? Okay, all right.
Put this go on my record, right?
All right, Mr. Wilson, is that your signature at the bottom of the plea form?
Yeah,
Did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
yeah,
Did you understand all the rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
no,
Okay, that's why I want to make sure you understood what you're doing. Did you read the plea form? Talks about a lot of rights that you're giving up.
I'm good.
All right, do you understand all the rights that you're giving up by entering the plea? Is that a yes? I can't, and
Oh, yes.
okay, all right. And, are you on probation anywhere?
No,
Okay, do you understand if you're not a US citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
okay.
Is that a yes? Do you understand?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, all right. I do find a factual basis to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. Can't go back to the, location where you were trespassed, okay? Abide by that trespass warning. I do have to impose court costs, and I'll order you pay those by January 13th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Good luck. Huh? Mr. Hippolyte? Okay, looks like this has been reset multiple times, I think. All right, so 2020 MM 35AW, Mr. Hippolyte's refused to come to court. He's been previously reset. I'm gonna find that to be a waiver. I'll appoint the public defender. Ms. Fowler, do you want to formally waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and so, he's not to return back to the 800 North Pine Hills Road or have any contact with any listed victim or witness, and the bond will stay set at 500. And then Ms. Smith is also, is that a refusal too? Okay, all right, and, Ms. Smith's been reset multiple times as well. So 2020 CF 383AO, I'll appoint the public defender. And, Ms. Fowler, do you want to formally waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Well, I find probable cause for the possession of MDMA, 2 counts. And I did appoint the PD, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. The bond will stay $1,150. I'm not gonna revoke any releases. Looks like she's got some status hearings and things coming up, so. All right, I'll take no action on those. All right. You ready on 33 days? Yes? No?
Just 1 second, Connor. All right, Your Honor.
All right, so I have, Ms. Baker filed a 33-day motion on 2019 CF 16882AO Rigoberto Estefano Huigon Ramirez.
Yes, Your Honor, there was a request for administrative transfer to county court filed on January 9th.
I think, is that case number 2020 MM38AW?
I don't have that right now, Your Honor.
Yeah, okay, so that will be denied. It was filed as a misdemeanor in 2020 MM38AW. Why do I have 2 orders? Yeah, same number. All right, I have 2019, well, it looks like Kenneth Homburg filed 33-day motions for Thaddeus Anthony III. Some of these are timely and some of these are not timely, so, we'll start with the first one, 2019 CF 16885AO.
Yes, Your Honor. An information was filed this morning on January 13th, filing ID 101515962.
Can you give me that ID again? I'm sorry, Ms. Fusco.
101515962.
Thank you. Okay, that will be denied. 2019 CF 16963 AO Thaddeus Anthony.
Yes, Your Honor. On January 10th, there was a no information notice.
All right, that will be granted. Twenty 2019 CF 17190 AO. He's been in 27 days in this case, so this is untimely. Alright, that will be denied. Alright, 2019 CF 17268 AO Thaddeus Anthony.
Yes, Your Honor. On January 10th, there was a notice of non-filing.
This is also untimely. He's been in 25 days since the booking date. Twenty 19 CF 16904 Anthony Thomas Voltaggio.
Yes, Your Honor. This case was consolidated with 19 CF 16871, and information was filed under both those case numbers together, filing ID 101448613, and that was filed on January 10th.
All right, that will be denied. All right, now on to the 33 days. I've got 2019 CF 16735 AO Howard Edward Jones.
Yes, Your Honor. On January 10th, there was an information filed, filing ID 101461856.
All right, that will be denied. 2019 MM 9902AO Rashan Speedle.
Yes, Your Honor. There was a request for administrative transfer and an information filed under 19 MM 9902 on January 10th of 20. And
Is it 9902? 2019 MM?
yes, 9902. And I have a clock copy in that one.
Okay, that will be denied. Twenty 2019 CF 16830AO Arturo Fong.
Yes, Your Honor. On January 10th, there was a request for administrative transfer and information, and I have clocked copies. I do not have the case number for the misdemeanor.
Do you have the filing ID number?
Just the clock copies, Your Honor, I can give to the public defender
Does-
for dated January 13th. Clock.
Okay, well, you said January
I'm so-
10th?
I'm sorry, I misspoke, Your Honor.
Which date is it?
January 13th.
So it's filed as a misdemeanor?
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
All right, that will be denied. 2019 CF 16791AO Nicole May Michaud.
Yes, Your Honor, on January 10th, there was a notice of non-filing.
All right, that will be granted. 2019 CF 16887AO Marcus Lakeith Dickerson.
Yes, Your Honor, on January 10th, there was a notice of non-filing.
All right, that will be granted. 2019 CF 16886AO Marcus Lakeith Dickerson.
Yes, Your Honor, on January 10th, there was a notice of non-filing.
That will be granted. 2019 CF 16760AO Glenda Pravat.
Yes, Your Honor, on January 10th, an information was filed, filing ID 101471079.
That will be denied. 2019 CF 16776AO Lozelle Anderson.
Yes, Your Honor, on January 10th, there was a notice of non-filing.
All right, that will be granted. 2019 CF 16837AO Matthew Slowinski Brown.
Yes, Your Honor, on January 10th, there was a notice of non-filing.
All right, that will be granted. 2019 CF 16912AO Vincent Bavero.
Yes, Your Honor, on January 10th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Okay, that will be granted. 2019 CF 16923AO Vincent Bavero.
Yes, Your Honor, on January 10th, there was an information filed, filing ID 101487820.
All right, that will be denied. 2019 CF 16872AO Jarvis Terrell Harden.
Yes, Your Honor. In that case, there was a request for administrative transfer and information filed, and the misdemeanor number is 2019 MM 9887-0. And I have a clocked copy dated this morning, January the 13th, to provide to the public defender.
All right, that will be denied. 2019 CF 15865 AO Stacy Foster.
Yes, Your Honor. On December 17th, there was a notice of non-filing.
Okay, that's granted. 2019 CF 16177 AO Samuel Lee Simmons Benton.
Yes, Your Honor. There was a request for administrative transfer and information filed. I have clock copies dated January 13th. I do not have the new misdemeanor case number. I have the copy of the clock copy for the public defender.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Your Honor?
I can hear you now. Thank you.
Perfect. My apologies. I'm going to repeat myself. Alan Figueroa, Assistant Defense County Interpreter. It's just the attorney was putting on the headset, and when they do that, we can't hear anything.
Oh, okay. Have you been sworn in today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name, please?
Enrique Ramirez.
All right, Mr. Ramirez, you're here in case number 2020 MO68. You're arrested for an open container violation. I do find probable cause. Did you want to see if you qualify for the public defender?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you work?
Sí, en un rancho en San Cloud.
Yes, at a ranch in St. Cloud.
Okay, and do you get paid?
Housekeeping.
Okay, do you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly?
Diario.
Daily.
Okay, and then how much would you say you make a week?
No sé, si trabajo 8, me pagan a 10 la hora. Si trabajo 8 horas 80 y si trabajo 10, 100.
I don't know. It depends. I get paid $10 an hour. If I work 8 hours, 80. If I work 10, 100.
Okay, how much do you often work? Does it fluctuate?
De lunes a jueves.
Monday through Thursday.
Okay, so 4 days a week, and how many hours would you say on average that you work?
8 a 10 horas.
8 to 10.
Okay, I think you'll qualify for that. I'm gonna appoint the public defender, Ms. Fowler. Was there an offer, Ms. Fusco, for Mr. Ramirez?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 2 days with credit time served, court costs.
All right, so it's a credit for time served offer, Mr. Ramirez. Do you want to accept the offer?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Ramirez, was that your signature at the bottom of the plea form?
Sí.
Yes.
Did you understand everything that was contained within the plea form?
Sí.
Yes.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Sí.
Yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No.
No.
Do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
No sé. Sí, aquí está todo, sí.
Yes, it's here. Yes.
It's here? Did you understand my question? My question is, do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation?
Sí, aunque sea residente.
Yes, even if I'm a resident?
Even if you're a resident, if you're not a U.S. citizen, if you don't want to plead today, you don't have to. I don't know if, I cannot tell you, legally speaking, if this charge will get you deported, but I have to advise you, I'm required to by law, advise you that if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation.
Okay, sí.
Okay, yes.
So knowing that and not knowing whether or not you would get deported or not, based on the charge, you still want to enter a plea?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I do find a factual basis to accept your plea. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days' time served. I do have to impose court costs. I'll order you pay those by January 13th, 2021. That gives you a year. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you, sir. Good luck.
Sí. Gracias.
Thank you.
All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name, please.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es José Luis Canché Cantún.
Good afternoon. My name is Jose Luis Canche Cantum.
All right, sir, you're here in 2018 CT 1578AW, and the Office of the Public Defender was previously appointed to represent you. And it appears as though I'm not able to get into anything online here. I think you're just charged by citation with operating a motor vehicle without a driver's license. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I
Sí,
wasn't
correcto.
sure if there was an information filed and anything different other than that. My system won't pull up the arraignments. So, was there an offer?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 15 days, no driving, and court cost.
Okay, I'm showing 12 days credit? And he has an ICE hold.
And I advise him of that too.
Okay, all right. Has he had an opportunity, has anybody in your office spoken with an immigration lawyer on his behalf?
Not that I know of, I can ask him really quickly.
Okay. Thing is, if he has a hold, he's not going anywhere for a little bit, my guess is. I don't know if resolving the case today is in his best interest, because of that hold.
Right.
I don't know why I can't get on Obviously.
Acepto la...
Is this his only case? Okay, all right.
Your Honor, he would like to take the offer.
Okay, well, I don't feel as though he's had any opportunity to talk to an attorney. I don't think that's a good idea. So what you can always set it for a plea at any
Okay.
time, okay? So, Mr. Conchek-Cantun, I am gonna enter a plea of not guilty for you on your behalf. And I think that it's important that you sort out the immigration issue before entering a plea in the case. So hopefully somebody can come and talk to him about that. And then if they believe that entering a plea is in his best interest, they can set it for a plea, okay? But with the hold, you're not going anywhere, okay? So it's not gonna get you out of jail,
Oh,
okay?
disculpe, no estoy entendiendo bien.
I'm sorry, I'm not quite understanding.
Okay, that's one of the reasons why I'm not gonna take a plea today, because I don't think that you understand what's happening. What's happening is you have an immigration hold, you're charged with driving while license suspended, or excuse me, driving without a valid driver's license. This plea will subject you to deportation, so I don't want you to do anything that may have negative consequences. So you need to sort out the hold with your attorneys first. And once I hear from them again that you know what's happening and that it's in your best interest to plea, then I would take a plea, okay? So we'll give you some dates.
It's in Division 85, pretrial conference, January 27th at 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4A.
All right, please tell me your name.
Luis Fernando Chilon Hernandez.
Luis Fernando Chilon Hernandez.
All right, Mr. Sheila Hernandez, you're here in a couple cases. Looks like 2018 CT 2261 AW, and you do not have an attorney in that case. You're charged with driving under the influence. And it's 2018 CT 2259 AW. You do not have an attorney in that case. You're charged with giving false information at an accident. And 2018 CT 2262 AW. You do not have an attorney in that case. You're charged with operating a motor vehicle without a driver's license. And 2018 CT 2260 AW. You're charged with reckless driving with property damage or personal injury to another, and you do not have an attorney in that case. Did you fill out a form for the public defender?
Sí, pero no he llamado.
Yes, but I haven't called.
Okay, no. Did you fill out a form or an affidavit? He just got here.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your cases. He has an immigration detainer, correct? Okay. All right, and if you haven't been previously advised on that, I think that you were on January 7th advised of that. So, Ms. Fowler, do you want to enter pleas of not guilty for him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's gonna be two different dates. We have Division 81 for all the cases except, you didn't call 27 CT 75.
Oh, is that I think I called them all. I think I called 4 cases, but I don't know. There's 5 cases. Okay, so then there's 2020 CT 75, operating a motor vehicle without a driver's license as well. Okay, and I'll appoint the PD in that case.
Okay, and the 20 CT 75, that's gonna be Division 83. Pretrial conference February 3rd at 8 a.m., courtroom 6 cases are Division 81. Pre-trial conference is February 14th, 9 a.m., courtroom 9C.
Yeah, he was advised of that immigration hold, at least on one of these cases, on January 7th. Yeah, I have the order in the court file. So you need to get in touch with your attorney, sir, and they'll come and talk to you about your cases.
¿Cómo? Ok, está bien entonces.
Okay.
Ok, ya.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Hernandez, Ferrera bonded.
All right, take no action. All right, please tell me your name. Tell me your name, sir.
Hugo Portillo. Víctor Hugo Portillo.
Víctor Hugo Portillo.
All right, Mr. Portillo, you're here in 2020 CF 488. And you're arrested for false imprisonment, domestic violence, tampering with a witness to hinder communication to law enforcement, and battery, domestic violence. I do find probable cause for those offenses. You're not gonna qualify for the public defender, but you do have an immigration hold that I have to advise you of, and so I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. We do have a witness here. Do you need the interpreter, ma'am?
Hello.
No? Okay. Can you raise your right hand, please?
Necesito intérprete, señora.
Sí.
You,
The witness needs an interpreter, Your Honor.
okay, and so, Mr. Interpreter, I just ask that you help me along here.
Sure.
Thank you. Can you raise your right hand to be sworn in, please?
Levanta la mano derecha para prestar juramento, por favor.
That's fine. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Jura decir la verdad, solo la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down.
Baja la mano.
Can you state your name, please, and spell your last name for me?
Dígame su nombre y deletree su apellido, por favor.
Magda Veralí, D-U-A-R-T-E.
Magda Veraliz, D-U-E-R-T-E.
Okay, and then, ma'am, how do you know Mr. Portillo?
¿De dónde conoce usted al señor Portillo?
Lo conocí aquí en Orlando, donde yo alquilaba.
I met him here in Orlando where I was renting.
Okay, are you in a relationship with him?
¿Está en una relación con él?
Sí.
Yes.
And how long have you been in a relationship?
¿Hace cuánto que han estado en una relación?
8 meses.
8 months.
Are you afraid of him?
¿Siente temor de él?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to tell me?
¿Hay algo más que usted quiera decirme?
No.
No.
Okay. I'm sure the state attorney's office will get in touch with you. Does anyone else have any questions?
Bien, la fiscalía se comunicará con usted. ¿Alguien más que tenga preguntas para los testigos?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am, for coming here and talking to me today.
Gracias, señora, por estar aquí y por hablar con nosotros hoy.
I'm gonna keep
Okay.
her in there for now, just so she hears the conditions of release, okay? And if you could relay that to her as well, Mr. Interpreter, while I'm giving
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Manténgase ahí, señora, por el momento para que escuche todos los términos de las condiciones de libertad.
All right.
Okay.
Mr. Portillo, I am ordering that you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim in the case. I'll have you
Señor
sign the no contact order form, please.
Señor Portillo, se le prohíbe el contacto con la víctima, ya sea directa o indirectamente. Firmará en este momento el formulario de prohibición de contacto.
sir? Did you understand everything that was contained in the no contact order?
¿Entendió todo lo que consta en el formulario de prohibición de contacto, señor?
Sí.
Yes.
All right. You're to maintain a separate residence from the victim.
Debe buscarse otro paradero por separado que no sea con la víctima.
If you need to go back to the residence to get any personal belongings, you may go one time with law enforcement to get anything that you need.
Si necesita regresar a la residencia para recoger algún artículo, puede hacerlo una sola vez junto a las autoridades para recoger sus pertenencias personales.
You may not go by yourself, you must go with law enforcement.
No puede ir solo, tiene que ir acompañado de las autoridades.
No weapons or firearms or any ammunition.
0 armas, ya sea arma blanca o arma de fuego, y 0 municiones.
And I did advise you, but I'm going to let you know again, you do have an immigration hold.
Y ya le había informado, pero le diré nuevamente, tiene una orden de retención de parte de inmigración.
I'm setting your bond on count 1 at $2,500.
Se fijará la fianza en el primer cargo en 2.500,
Count 2 will be $150,
150 en el segundo cargo
and count 3 will be $500.
y 500 en el tercer cargo.
Okay?
Bien,
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
gracias, señora.
All right. All right. Good afternoon. Can you tell me your name, please?
Milfri Olivares.
Milfri Olivares.
All right, Ms. Olivares, you're here in 2020 MM 279. You're arrested for attempted battery, assault, domestic violence, and resisting an officer without violence. I do find probable cause for those offenses, and I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. We do have a witness here. Sir, do you need the interpreter?
Sí, sí.
I think he said that he does need the interpreter. Okay.
I'm already broadcasting, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in, sir?
Levanta la mano derecha, por favor, para prestar juramento.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Jura decir la verdad, solo la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Sí.
All right, you can place
Yes.
your hand down, thank you.
Baja la mano.
Can you tell me your name and spell your last name for me, please?
Dígame su nombre y deletree su apellido.
Santiago de Jesús, B-E-N-T-U-R-A.
Santiago de Jesús, V-E-N-T-U-R-A.
All right, Mr. Ventura, how do you know Miss Olivares?
Señor Ventura, ¿cómo conoce usted a la señorita Olivares?
Nos conocemos a través de una amistad de comiendo en un restaurante.
We met through mutual friends who were eating at a restaurant.
Okay, and are you in a relationship with her?
¿Y está en una relación con ella?
Sí.
Yes.
How long have you been in a relationship?
¿Hace cuánto que está en una relación?
Como 5 años.
About 5 years.
Okay. Are you afraid of her?
¿Siente temor de ella?
No.
No.
Do you wish to have or want to have continued contact with her through the pending of this case?
¿Desea tener contacto o quiere tener contacto con ella mientras el caso está pendiente?
Sí.
Yes.
Has anything or like this or any violence happened in your relationship in the past?
¿Algo parecido a esto o algún tipo de violencia ha ocurrido en su relación en el pasado?
No.
No.
If something like this or any other violence in the future were to happen and you were to feel threatened, would you call law enforcement?
Si algo así o algún tipo de violencia fuese a ocurrir nuevamente en el futuro y usted se sienta amenazado, ¿usted llamaría a las autoridades?
Sí, señor.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you think drugs or alcohol had any involvement in her behavior?
¿Cree usted que algún tipo de droga o el alcohol tuvo algo que ver con el comportamiento de ella?
No.
No.
All right. Does anyone, Ms. Fusco or Ms. Fowler, have any other questions for Mr. Ventura?
No, Your Honor.
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay.
Nadie más tiene preguntas para el señor Ventura.
All right, thank you for your testimony, sir. Based on your testimony, as well as my review of the affidavit and any lack of criminal history,
Gracias por su testimonio, señor. Con el testimonio suyo y con lo que yo he leído del archivo y dado el historial,
I am going to allow contact.
se permitirá el contacto entre ustedes.
It is non-hostile, non-violent contact.
Pero se prohibirá el contacto hostil, o sea, sin hostilidad.
No pushing, no shoving, no hitting,
Nada de empujar, nada de manotear, nada de golpear,
no throwing things at anyone,
nada de lanzarse cosas ninguno al otro,
no getting in anyone's face,
nada de encarársele a nadie,
no swearing or saying mean things,
nada de groserías ni decir nada ofensivo,
no threats or threats of violence.
cero amenazas o amenazas con violencia.
Do you understand, Ms. Olivares?
¿Lo entiende, señorita Oliveris? Yes.
All right. You're also not to possess any weapons or firearms or any ammunition.
También se le prohíbe la tenencia de armas, ya sea arma blanca o arma de fuego, y de municiones.
And would she would not qualify for pretrial release? Can I, she will? Or should I do bond or, just in case? Okay, well, it just said here that no emergency contact provided. Okay. All right, so Ms. Olivares, you're gonna qualify for pretrial release.
Bien, señorita Olivares, si usted reúne los requisitos para la libertad provisional,
You will not have to post a bond. Are you okay with that, sir?
no tendrá que depositar ninguna fianza para salir. ¿Está usted de acuerdo con eso, señor?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so make sure that you follow the conditions of your release and you follow the conditions of release through pretrial release as well.
Asegúrese de acatarse a las condiciones de su libertad y a las condiciones de su libertad provisional también.
Do not miss any future court dates.
No falte a ninguna fecha de comparecencia.
All right? Thank you.
Gracias.
Gracias.
All right, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name?
Do you
Jose
need,
Irving.
do you need the interpreter or no?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Can you tell me your name, sir?
Jose Irving Ramos Flores. Jose Irving Ramos Flores.
José Irvin Ramos Flores.
All right, Mr. Ramos Flores, you're here in case number 2020 MM 263AO. You're arrested for domestic violence battery, and I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender, and we do have a witness. Ma'am, do you need the interpreter? Yes,
I apologize, Your Honor. The interpreter cannot hear anything.
I know. Yeah, he's gonna have to take the headset off anyway. All right, and I believe the witness said she did need the interpreter as well, so, ma'am, can you raise your right hand to be sworn in, please?
Levante la mano derecha, por favor, señora, para prestar juramento.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Jura decir la verdad, solo la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down, thank you.
Baja la mano, gracias.
Can you state your name for me and tell me, spell your last name, please?
Dígame su nombre, por favor, y deletree su apellido.
Ángela Rodríguez. R-O-D-R-I-G-U-E-Z. R-I-G-U-E-Z.
Angela Rodriguez, Rodriguez.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, how do you know Mr. Ramos Flores?
Señorita Rodríguez, ¿y cómo conoce al señor Ramos Flores?
Llevo casado con él 14 años.
I've been married to him for 14 years.
Okay. And what is your, and the child victim in the case, is that your son?
Y el menor víctima en este caso ese es el hijo suyo.
Mi hijo no es víctima de ataque de él.
My son was not a victim.
Okay, well, he is the named victim in the case. Is he your
Bueno,
son?
él es la
Sí.
supuesta víctima en el caso, es el hijo suyo. He's my son.
Okay. And what is it that you would like to tell me?
¿Qué desea decirme, señora?
Que mi hijo no es víctima y su papá lo ama. O sea, no ha habido ningún agresividad hacia él, ni maltrato, nada. O lo que sucedió en el avión me parece que fue un poco injusto, sin preguntarnos y sin realmente pasar el procedimiento completo. Solamente al...
Hold on, let him interpret, okay?
I just wanted to say that my son is not a victim. His father loves him. There was no aggressive behavior. There was no mistreatment. In that moment, I believe what happened in the airplane was unfair without asking any questions or anything like that.
Okay, you can continue.
Continúe.
O sea que lo que su papá habló con él fue de manera de que se sentara en el asiento. No fue nada de agresión ni nada de agresiva contra mí ni contra los niños. Nunca hemos tenido ningún tipo de problema en cuanto a agresión.
What his father was trying to do was talk to him to get him to sit down. There was no aggression towards myself nor the children. We've never had any issues with aggression or anything like that in the past.
Okay, was the Department of Children and Families contacted?
¿Contactaron al Departamento de Niños y Familia?
¿A mí?
¿Me?
For the child?
Para el menor.
No.
No.
Does anyone, Ms. Fusco, do you have any questions for Ms. Rodriguez?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
La fiscalía no tiene preguntas para los
Fowler.
testigos.
Questions, Your Honor.
La defensa tampoco.
Okay, so based on my review of the affidavit,
Basado en lo que he leído en el affidavit,
there were independent witnesses that allegedly saw what happened on a plane.
hubieron testigos independientes que supuestamente vieron lo que ocurrió en el avión.
Law enforcement then spoke with the child.
Las autoridades después hablaron con el menor.
The child indicated that his father pushed him, causing him to injure his arm and lower back area.
El niño o el menor había indicado que el padre lo empujó, lo que causó que sufriera lesiones al brazo y a la espalda.
Into a metallic item as he fell forward.
Se dio contra un objeto metálico mientras cayó hacia adelante.
So that's what is alleged to have happened in the affidavit.
Eso es lo que supuestamente ocurrió, lo que consta en el affidavit.
And the child is 10 years old.
El menor tiene 10 años.
I don't know whether Department of Children and Families was contacted. In most circumstances, they would be, but there's nothing in the affidavit that indicates that they were.
No sé si contactaron al Departamento de Niños y Familia. La mayoría de los casos lo harían, pero no hay nada en el affidavit que me informe que se contactaron.
So,
That the social worker. I don't know.
I'm sorry?
She's the social worker.
For Department of Children and Families?
No, ma'am. I'm actually a blood relative. She's my cousin, but I also am a licensed clinical social worker.
Okay, were you
The children,
were you a witness to
I
the
am not a
incident?
witness, however, the children were in my care after the incident occurred. And I just wanted to vow for the children that they have no bruising, they have no injuries visible to their bodies, and they have no signs of any type of mistreatment or neglect.
Can you state your name for me, ma'am?
My name is Maria Rodriguez.
All right, Ms. Rodriguez, it's indicated in the affidavit that there was no injury.
Okay.
Okay, so I do know that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, however, based on my review as of today, and I'm not sure what the status is of any Department of Children and Family investigation, if there is one, but based on the allegation, I am gonna order no contact at this time.
Bien, basado en lo que consta en el affidavit, sin haber visto ningún informe de parte de ninguna agencia ni del Departamento de Niños y Familias, pero basado en lo que he leído en el informe, emitiré una orden de prohibición de contacto en este momento.
And your attorneys can file a motion for contact, and that will be heard in Division 50.
Sus abogados pueden radicar un pedimento para que se emita una orden de contacto. Eso sería en la División 50.
You're to maintain a separate residence from the victim.
Debe buscarse otro paradero por separado de la víctima.
If you need to go back, you must go with law enforcement.
Si necesita regresar, puede hacerlo con las autoridades.
No weapons or firearms or any ammunition.
0 armas, ya sea arma blanca o arma de fuego, 0 municiones.
If there is a Department of Children and Family investigation, you must comply.
Si hay una investigación de parte del Departamento de Niños y Familia, usted debe cumplir con todo.
And the bond will be set at $500.
La fianza se fijará en $500.
Your Honor, if I just wanted to note that there was a note that I saw that just said the family was leaving to Puerto Rico when arrested. The defendant will be leaving as soon as possible after court.
Okay, well, it's still in the United States, and he has a right to go wherever he wants to go. I'm not gonna preclude him from going home,
Su
but
señoría, quería hacer constar que hay una nota que nos informa que ellos estaban ya de salida, que el acusado entonces estaría regresando a Puerto Rico en cuanto se acabe el caso. Bueno, Puerto Rico todavía es parte de los Estados Unidos, él puede regresar, yo no le voy a prohibir regresar a su casa.
he has to understand that if he has a court date, you cannot miss any court date.
Pero tiene que entender que si tiene una fecha de comparecencia, no puede faltar.
And so I'll have you sign the no contact order form, Mr. Ramos Flores.
Así que, señor Ramos Flores, firmará la orden de prohibición de contacto.
All right, sir, I understand that you're upset. Do you understand everything that's contained in that form?
Señor, entiendo que esté disgustado, pero ¿ha entendido todo lo que consta en ese formulario?
No estoy disgustado, lo que encuentro injusto, porque no me han dado la oportunidad de expresarme ni explicar cómo fue, dónde fue. Todo fue de afuera o el que dijeron. Nunca me dieron la oportunidad
Mr.
de
Interpreter,
explicar.
can you let him know not to talk about the facts of the case? I need to know only if he understands what's contained in the form.
Señor, por favor, no hable sobre los hechos del caso todavía. La jueza solamente necesita saber si usted entiende lo que consta en ese formulario.
Está bien. Disculpa, sí, entiendo. Tengo una duda, no sé si con lo del contacto, lo del abogado, no sé si se puede contestar en este momento.
Okay, I apologize. I understand it. Yes, I do have a question. I don't know if it can be answered at this moment in regards to the contact order.
Okay, so what is your question?
¿Cuál es su pregunta?
Okay. Para estar claro de que entendí, o sea, no puedo tener contacto con mi hijo.
Just to make sure that I understand, I cannot have any contact with my son
Until it's changed in writing by a judge.
hasta que eso cambie por escrito en una orden judicial.
You have an attorney,
Y el
okay? You have the Office of the Public Defender. They'll
Usted tiene un abogado.
be able to file a motion
A usted se le designó la oficina del defensor público para que lo represente y ellos pueden radicar un pedimento
requesting contact,
para pedir el contacto.
and the judge in the case will make that decision.
Y el juez del caso tomará esa decisión.
¿Eso tarda unos días o cuál es el proceso? Porque, ¿qué le voy a decir? Mi hijo yo lo amo, ¿sabes? ¿Qué yo le voy a decir?
Does that take a few days? How long does that
It
take?
can
Because
take a few-
what am I going to tell my son?
Well, it could take a few days, yes, but you have an attorney. I would make sure that you get that information as soon as possible.
Se puede tardar unos días, sí, pero tiene abogados, así que asegúrese de conseguir la información lo más pronto posible.
And then you can have a hearing on the matter. I don't control the docket of the other judge.
Y se puede fijar fecha para el pedimento. Yo no controlo el calendario de los otros jueces.
Okay?
Bien,
Thank you.
gracias.
Yep. Yes, hold on, let me. Yes, ma'am?
¿Por qué se tiene que quedar aquí?
Why does he have to stay here?
He doesn't, he has a bond.
No tiene que quedarse, él tiene una fianza.
Ok, pero ¿por qué tiene que esperar días? Es que nosotros estábamos aquí de vacaciones con nuestros hijos.
But why would he have to wait days? We were here on vacation with our children.
He doesn't have to wait days, you can post the bond today.
Él no tiene que esperar días, se puede depositar la fianza hoy mismo.
Y lo de que tiene que esperar unos días, eso fue lo que no entendí.
And the thing about having to wait a few days, that's the part I didn't understand.
That would be for his attorney to file a motion and have a hearing in front of the other judge.
Eso es para que su abogado radique el pedimento para que se celebre una audiencia en frente de otro juez.
Okay?
Bien.
All right, thank you. All right, I think we're done with the interpreter cases. Is there anybody, if you could make an announcement out there, if anybody needs the interpreter?
Sure thing, Your Honor. A los testigos que se encuentran en el público, ¿hay alguien que necesita el intérprete de español?
Okay, I don't see any hands raised. Thank you so much.
Not a problem, Your Honor.
All right, please tell me your name.
Cayman Brown.
All right, Mr. Brown, you're here in 2020 CF 474AO. You're charged with fleeing and attempting to elude a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens activated. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. And I believe there was a bond correction sheet because it's supposed to come in at no bond, and I will give you a bond, sir. And so I am going to set your bond at $5,000. Okay. All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Joey Rojas.
All right, Mr. Rojas, you're here in 2020 CF 473AO. You're arrested for robbery with a deadly weapon, attempted sexual battery with a deadly weapon using force, attempted aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and battery. And I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you in your case. Count 1 is a punishable by life felony. Ms. Fusco, does the state wish to be heard as to bond?
Yes, Your Honor. On January 12th, the victim, Jordan Elizabeth Nix, entered the Extra Space Storage at 3501 South Orange Blossom Trail, and a man followed behind her. When she attempted to close the door of her unit, he stopped her from closing it. He then held a 6 to 8 inch knife with a black handle up to her chest and told her to take off her clothes or he would kill her. And he said, "If you scream or don't do as I say, I'll stab you." Ms. Nix pled with the man, grabbed at the knife, and was able to push past him and go into the lobby. The man grabbed her by her hair, attempted to pull her back into the storage unit, but she was able to push him off her and enter the lobby. She ran toward a woman in the lobby, and then the male exited to the parking lot. She later realized the man had her phone. She asked for her phone back. The woman witness told her it was not worth her life, so she offered the man $20 for her phone, and he gave it to her, gave the phone back. The police were able to stop a male matching the description of the victim had given when he was at the Shell station down the street. The witness, Linda Igualada, said she was mainly focused on the victim and couldn't identify the defendant in a photo lineup, but said she did hear the victim scream and did see the man threaten the victim with a knife. The victim was able to identify the defendant in a show-up. A knife was found near the Shell station where the police located the defendant. The knife matched the earlier description by the victim, and the victim was able to identify it. The police located drops of blood in the parking lot of the storage facility, and there was blood on the defendant and on his clothing at the time of the arrest. The knife, the clothing, and buccal swabs of the defendant were placed into evidence. Video from the storage facility has been requested. After Miranda, the defendant admitted to an altercation with the defendant at the storage facility, but he claimed she was supposed to pay him $20 for working for her, and he held her phone and wouldn't return it until she gave him the $20 due him. The state argues that there is proof evident or presumption great, and that he should be held with no bond.
All right, Ms. Fowler?
And Your Honor, we'd like to defer the matter to the court.
All right, Mr. Rojas, before I get to your bond or any bond that I may impose, you're not to return back to the extra space storage at 3501 South Orange Blossom Trail. No contact with any listed victims or witnesses in the case. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition, and no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. If you have a passport or own a passport, you'll need to surrender that to the clerk's office, the clerk of the court, within 12 hours of your release from the Orange County Jail. If you do not own a passport, you'll have to file an affidavit under oath and notarize that you do not own a passport. All right. As to count one, I do find proof evident, presumption great. I am going to hold you no bond on count one. Count two, your bond will be $20,000. Count three will be $3,500, and count four will be $500. And your attorneys have provided you that you still have the right to file a bond hearing motion for downtown, okay? So they'll do that for you, okay?
All right.
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
My name is Roscoe Alfred Jr.
All right, Mr. Alfred, you're here in 2020 MM 273AO. You're arrested for trespass on property after warning and battery, and I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. My guess is the state does not have an offer today.
Not at this time,
Okay.
Your Honor.
All right, and so I am gonna order that you're not to return back to the 7-Eleven at 3355 Vineland Road or have any contact with any listed victim or witness at that location. No weapons, no firearms, no ammunition. Abide by the trespass warning. The bond will stay set at 500 on each count, 500 on count one, 500 on count two. You're out on bond for battery one prior, criminal mischief, burglary, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in 19 CF 64AO. I am gonna revoke the bond in that case, or the bonds, I should say, and set them at none. Looks like you do have an attorney, so they'll be able to file any motions to set bond for you in that case.
You want me, I'll speak, please?
I really don't want you to talk about the facts of your case.
No, ma'am, not that.
Okay, 'cause that's for a later date. I don't want you to, I just have to advise you that anything that you say can be used against you. Prosecutor's sitting right there, okay? So anything that you say at your own peril. I've advised you.
I just want to bring your attention, I have court January 21st downtown.
Okay, well, if they note it, the PD's office should note that you're in jail, okay? And, they'll transport you over if it's a hearing that you need to be at,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? That's all I can tell you,
All right,
okay? All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Ladon, how are you?
I'm well, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
All right, and saw you earlier, I think last week.
Yes, Your Honor.
And can you tell me your name again, sir?
Gustavo Adrian Ramos Beltran.
All right, Mr. Ramos Beltran, and so, Mr. Ladon, are you filing a notice of appearance in this case too?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, and so, Mr. Ramos Beltran, you're here in 2020 CF 487AO, and you were arrested pursuant to a warrant in which probable cause was found for 4 counts of lewd and lascivious molestation on a child under 12. And obviously you have an attorney in the case. And so, Mr. Ladon, do you,
Yes, Your
have
Honor.
you all talked about anything? Or is the
No.
state asking me to make any findings?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
In this case, Your Honor, on January 9th, a parent contacted the police that she just made aware of an incident with her child. She had 2 children, including the victim, that attended Rachi Ramos Daycare located out of a home at 906 Sheila Oaks Drive in Apopka. The defendant is a husband of the woman owning the daycare. The victim attended the daycare from the age of 5 to the age of 11. The victim's father indicated that they had been made aware from a friend who saw the news reports of another report at the daycare, and that he realized both his female children had attended the daycare previously. He asked his daughter, the victim, if she had ever been touched inappropriately, and initially replied no, but later in the evening came in the middle of the night crying and told them she had been touched by the defendant but had been afraid to tell before. In a CPT interview set up for the child disclosed the following, that she's currently 12 years old, and she said the most recent incident occurred during spring break in March of 2018 when she was 11. She was at the daycare she attended and was watching television in the playroom where several of the children were in the room at the time. The victim indicated that Gus then came into the room and sat down on the couch next to her, stated that Gus began touching her legs, made his way to touching her breasts over her clothes, then reached into the victim's pants and rubbed her vagina with his bare hands. The victim said she then got up and left the room. On another occasion she could remember, Gus picked her up from school and told her to sit in the front seat, and when they began driving away, he placed his hand on her upper thigh and began rubbing it while he had a conversation about how her day was. During the interview, she said Gus would touch her inappropriately on her breast, buttocks, or vagina almost every time that she went there. I would also have two other cases.
Two other cases.
That I would just like to enter as corroborating evidence. The statements
Have you
of those
shown them to
victims.
Mr. Ladon?
He has one with him today.
Okay.
And he had the other one, I believe he's represented in all of them.
Okay, so
Can I approach them?
yeah, sure, that's fine, but what are these
Just
cases?
corroborate. Similar cases with similar
Okay.
victims with like testimony.
Are these pending cases, or?
One of them is the recent case, and one of them is from, I believe, 2018.
So is this the one that was dropped?
One of them was, Your Honor.
And that's, the state did not file charges?
Correct.
Okay, but you want me to take it into consideration
That
for proof evident presumption, great?
that there's corroborating evidence by other children making very similar statement. In the two prior cases, the victims have similar age. The way he begins touching them on the thighs, buttocks, over the clothing, and then goes to the vaginal area is very similar. The fact that he doesn't expose himself in each case is also very similar. Two of the three girls say that it happened almost every time that they went there. All girls gave also a very unusual story that even while sitting on a couch, when there are other children all around them, he would touch them inappropriately. Two of the girls say they were in the van being transported to school, and he would have them sit in the front seat and then would start touching them. So they're very similar circumstances that were voiced by the victims, and I would like to consider that as corroborating evidence. Also, in the current report, the police note that since the prior arrest that we dealt with last week, that other victims, including the current victim, have come forward with similar allegations and have included details that were not reported in the press. And the police affidavit said that based on the number of victims that have come forward against the defendant, and the defendant victimized all the juveniles while in a position of authority, the police department respectfully requests the defendant be held without bond. The state also argues that based on the facts in the current affidavit and the corroborating evidence of other victims telling very similar stories, that there is proof evident or presumption grade, and we ask that the defendant be held without bond.
Yes, Your Honor. First of all, this isn't a Williams Rule hearing, and we haven't been provided adequate notice of that. We would ask that the court strike from its consideration anything beyond the four corners of the affidavit that's before you for your determination today. I do think, again, as we spoke last time, that it's noteworthy that the state attorney's office has chosen not to prosecute the case from several years ago. So I don't know why now that becomes evidentiary as it relates to this particular hearing. I think the court is bound by the affidavit that's before you. The allegation is from nearly 2 years ago. There's no other corroboration. There was no other reporting of any kind. There's no information within the affidavit that suggests that the families had any concerns about her being victimized, that there was any signs of prior issues. I think this was simply a response and reaction to the arrest that was before the court last week. There's no other corroborating evidence or testimony that would suggest that it's any more veracious or rises to the level of being proof evident presumption great, which, as you know, is a rather high standard and burden. And so predicated upon that, I believe that Mr. Ramos Beltran is entitled to a bond. He's already out on bonds, I think, totaling $135,000 at this point. This is coming from the same investigation, so there's no accusation that he's done anything improper while out on bond. I would also ask the court to take judicial notice of the fact that in that case, he has submitted an affidavit to the clerk's office that he does not have a valid passport, so that would also be satisfied by that affidavit. So we'd ask that the court release my client on whatever appropriate bond conditions the court thinks are necessary, but that proof evident presumption grade has not been met.
All right, Ms. Fusco, did you have something else? that you
Just a couple things in response. In the older case that I gave you, we do acknowledge that that case was not prosecuted, but there is a sworn statement and there is information in the DCF report, for example, that the child had been hospitalized because of extreme weight loss and depression, and her parents did not want to put her through a trial, in fact. And so there are a lot of reasons, and a sworn statement is there, and the DCF records are there. And also, even within the four corners, as mentioned previously, the police do have in this current affidavit that there are other victims who've come forward with very similar allegations and include details not reported in the press and the request by the police. that he be held without bond.
Okay, so I understand the information that you've provided to this court. It's Williams Rule evidence is really what it is. And that's something that the state would then file if the state decides to prosecute this case to get this evidence in against him at a trial. But for purposes of considering it for proof evident presumption great in this case, it's not part of the four corners of the affidavit in this case. I can consider it for other things, but I don't think that I can consider it for proof evident presumption great. And so based on this information that I have before me, again, it's basically the same allegation as before with no corroboration, in fact, based on this information. So no DNA, no efforts to try to communicate with the defendant to get any sort of information from him. And it's just, the proof evident presumption great is not there again, based on the affidavit. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna find there's no proof evident presumption great, and the state has the ability to file a motion for pretrial detention, which they did not do in the other case, I don't believe.
Yeah.
But that can be filed at initial appearance. It's not been done in either case. So, I don't know, it's up to the state to make that decision whether or not they're gonna file a motion for pretrial detention, but they certainly could have done it today, and they didn't. They certainly could have done it last week, and they didn't. And that's something that is much less burden-proof of proof evident presumption great. So, I'm not sure why they haven't done that, but that's not my decision. So, I am gonna order, Mr. Beltran, that you have no contact directly or indirectly with the victim, any witness, or the victim's family. Okay, these are pretty much all the same conditions as before. No weapons or firearms or any ammunition, no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and no contact with any child under the age of 18. And your attorney's indicated that you did file an affidavit already indicating that you don't own a passport. Mr. Ladon, I would just ask that you file that same affidavit if you can.
We can.
In this case as well. I would greatly appreciate that.
If the
Okay.
court will accept it, I can simply add the case number
That's
on
fine.
the original
Yes.
affidavit.
If he's already sworn to it, that's fine. I
Yes.
just don't know if they can
Transfer it over.
file it. Yeah, it would have to come from you. So again, I'd ask that you file the affidavit indicating that you do not own a passport. And if you do, then turn it in, but obviously you don't, okay? I can't take any action on the out on release case based on, there's been no violation of his conditions of release, so I'm taking no action on that. I am, however, setting the bond on all four counts at $150,000.
Collectively, Your Honor?
No, on each count.
On each count.
Yes. So your attorneys will be able to file a motion in, looks like Division 20, I believe, if I'm reading that correctly, and to either reduce your bond or whatnot, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. That's all I have before the
All
court,
right,
Judge.
thank you. Ms. Fusco, I'm gonna give you back this information, okay?
And Madam Clerk, can I wait for a copy of that as well? Thank you.
All right, please tell me your name.
Abdul Rahman Bentakur.
All right, Mr. Benzacour, you're here in 2020 CF 475AO. You're arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. You may not return back to the City Automotive Group at 5275 South Orange Blossom Trail, or have any contact with any victim or witness in the case. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, and no weapons, no firearms, and no ammunition. Your bond will stay set at $2,500.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Lang is behavior. He cannot conform his behavior to the courtroom. I'm gonna find that to be a waiver, and I'll appoint the public defender. He's filled out a form, so he does qualify. Ms. Fowler, do you wanna formally waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so he's not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness in the case, and the bond will stay set at 1,000 and 100. All right. Ms. Morgan has refused to come to court. I'm gonna find that to be a waiver. I don't know if the state would have had an offer today.
Not at this time, Your Honor. She threatened to kill the police officer, I think, during their arrest.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender in both of the cases, 2020 MM 274AO and 2020 CF 479AO. And Ms. Fowler, do you want to formally waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so she is not to return to 1626 27th Street. She must abide by the trespass warning, no contact with any listed victims or witnesses. In 2020 CF 479AO, no contact with any victims or witnesses in that case. And on the misdemeanor, the bond stays at 500. On the felony, the 2,500. I am gonna revoke in 2019 CF 16936AO and set that at none. And she does have an attorney in that case. All right, we'll reset Mr. Nomikos within 24 hours of his release from the hospital. And Rogers bonded, Mr. Rogers and Silvera bonded. And you said Smith is downtown court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll reset Mr. Smith. I had a question about that though before, just so I know, is just one case, correct? Because it says 2 of 3. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, please tell me your name.
Roxanne
Last name?
Bartlett.
All right, Ms. Bartlett, you're here in 2020 CT 65, is that AW? And you were arrested for driving under the influence, and I do find probable cause. Is your $500 a week, is that, what do you do? Is that,
I
is that
part-timed.
your paycheck?
Yeah.
All right, you're gonna have to hire an attorney, okay, or talk to an attorney. You're not gonna qualify for the public defender. So I am gonna order no drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Appears as though when they first interviewed you, you maybe weren't able to answer some of the questions. So what I'm gonna do is set your bond at 500 or pretrial release if you qualify, okay? So maybe they can get some more information and you'll be able to get out through pretrial release without posting a bond, okay? But I'll do in the alternative, okay? No drugs or alcohol, all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, please tell me your name.
Wille Sabzi.
What is it again?
Sabzi Wille.
Okay. All right, sir, you're here in 2020 CT 295AO and 2020 CT 296AO. You're arrested for driving under the influence with damage to property or person of another and leaving the scene of a crash involving damage to property. And I do find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. No drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. No contact with any listed victims or witnesses in the case. The bond on count 1 will stay set at 1,000 and 500 on count 2, or on the other case, sorry.
And Your Honor, will the court consider PTR if he verifies his community ties?
Well, that's fine. Oh, he was not interviewed? Oh, no. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I must have just missed that one. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I did not see that. Yes, no, I mean, I'll put him in pretrial release. That's fine. No bond, okay? Make sure you follow all of those requirements. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. All right, please tell me your name.
Rafi Ratliff.
Mr. Radcliffe, you're here in 2020 MM 276AO. You're arrested for trespass in a structure and resisting an officer without violence. Did you find probable cause? And I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer?
I could have just a minute, Your Honor.
Sure. He's being held for a warrant out of Kentucky? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 5 days with credit time served, court cost.
Okay, so if you want to resolve your case today, Mr. Radcliffe, the state's offer is I would adjudicate you guilty on both of the counts. 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 1 day time served. And then court costs. And then, once that's resolved, then you'll go to Kentucky. Do you want to do that? Okay, if you don't have to, you can bond out and then they'll still hold you and you'll go to Kentucky.
Yeah.
So, it's really up to you.
When do I go to Kentucky? Like how soon? Yeah, 30 days to pick me up.
All right, Mr. Radcliffe, is that your signature at the bottom of the plea
Yeah.
form? Did you understand everything contained within the plea form? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Do you understand all the rights you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes.
Are you on probation anywhere?
Yes.
You're on probation?
Yeah.
Where are you on probation?
In Kentucky.
Is that what the warrant is for?
Yeah.
Is it, do we know it's a VOP warrant or anything?
Actually,
Okay.
they had revoked it. I was, sorry.
I just need to see, the reason why I ask these questions is
Yeah.
that if you're on probation and you plead to a new law offense, it's automatically gonna violate you, okay?
No,
So if
no,
you've
no.
already been violated.
I have, yeah.
Okay,
I've
and
got-
if they've revoked it, then you're not on probation.
I have an attorney right now that's working on a bunch of
Okay.
crazy stuff up there.
So
with,
what I just need to know is if you think you're on probation.
I'm not.
Okay, so you're not on
No,
probation.
I'm sorry.
Okay, if you were on probation and
Then
you
this
pled
would
to this,
violate
it would violate you and
Yeah.
you understand that?
I understand.
Okay, and so you
Sorry.
understand the consequences of the
Yes.
plea, which is that it would violate
Yes.
you? Okay,
Yes.
that's all I need. I'm trying to work through that,
I know,
okay?
I'm sorry.
All right, so, and you understand if you're not a US citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I do find a factual basis to accept your plea to both counts. I'll adjudicate you guilty on each count, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail with credit for 1 day time served. That will run concurrent on each count. I do have to impose court costs. I'll order you pay those by January 13th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. All right, good luck.
Thank you.
And then Rodriguez bonded,
Inmate number, Your Honor?
2,01165. Yes, okay. Take no action. Right, come on forward, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Kadeem Von Wright.
All right, Mr. Wright. You're here in 2020 MM 271AO. You're arrested for trespass on property after warning. I do find probable cause, and I'll appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication of guilt, 3 days with credit time served, court costs.
One day? Okay, so it's 3 with credit for 2, no return back to that 7-Eleven, abide by the trespass, and I pose court cost. You want to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Mr. Wright, I'm not gonna revoke your release,
Thank you.
but if you come back,
I'm not.
it may get revoked,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? I think you have a court date coming up on, your pretrial conference is on February 4th,
Yes, ma'am.
okay? Don't miss any court dates.
Thank you, Ms. Wicks.
All right, Mr. Wright, is that your signature at the bottom of the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you understand everything contained within the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand all the rights that you're giving up by entering the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation anywhere?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, the plea will subject you to deportation.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I do find a factual basis to accept your plea based on the affidavit. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days with credit for 2 days' time served. And you may not return back to 1201 North Cimarron Boulevard, that's 7-Eleven. Abide by the trespass. You go back, probably getting arrested. Don't go back. And I do have to impose court costs. I'll order you pay those by January 13th, 2021. If you'd like to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, you must do so in writing within 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. All right, good luck.
Thank you, Ms. Wicks.
All right, tell me your name.
Mackenzie Faustin.
All right, Mr. Faustin, looks like they've been able to identify you, okay? So you're here in 2020 MM 258AO. You're arrested for resisting an officer without violence and assault on a law enforcement officer. And I do find probable cause for count 1. I'm not sure about count 2. It's, I think from what I can glean from the affidavit is that the subject who was facing me at this time proceeded to tense his chest and shoulders as if to take an aggressive stance directed towards me. I don't know anything else in there that says he was placed in fear, or he felt threatened, or he said something, did something with an act to make him feel in fear or threatened. All right, hearing nothing. Do you want me to appoint the public defender, Mr. Austin? No? You're gonna represent yourself? I don't know if that's a really good idea. Want to talk out loud to me?
Yes.
Okay. So, are you a licensed attorney?
No.
Okay. And so what makes you think you can represent yourself?
That's what I do when I'm innocent.
Okay, well, that's not what people necessarily do when they're innocent. So you don't want the PD at all?
No.
Okay, all right, so I'm not gonna find probable cause for count 2 based on the affidavit. But I do find probable cause for count 1. You're not to have any contact with any listed victim or witness, no weapons or firearms or any ammunition. The bond will stay set at 500. And ROR on count 2.